right. Welcome, everybody. Hi. My name is Kelly Kolodny, and I've been channeling the angel Raphael for 33 years. Wow, a really long time. And I am delighted to be here with all of you on this beautiful New Year day as we begin the journey into 2023. 23 is a really magical number for me. And I know it's going to be a magical number for all of you too. And it's going to be a fabulous year. So we're going to tap into where we were a little bit, just kind of a brief review of last year, and what we can expect personally and globally, collectively, as we move into 2023. We're going to do this in a variety of ways. I'm going to tune into the Oracle deck that I will be launching along with Debashri at some time this year when I get my piece finished, as I'm tuning into the cards and channeling the messages that go with each one. And I've been playing with the beautiful deck and tapping in, and I pulled cards for today, so we're going to talk about that. But before we get into that, I also want to look at briefly what we did so far, where we're at, because 2022 was an interesting year for many of us. And a lot unfolded. And as you all know, I'm working with all these codes that I downloaded last year that came through from the angels and the Ascended Masters. And each of the code opens and awakens something in us as we're creating and amplifying and reconnecting and reawakening and revealing our light body as it's activated to support us moving into higher states of consciousness, so that we can navigate these times ahead of us in the next coming years that may on some levels on outward appearance be a bit challenging. And yet the higher we are in our vibration, the more love we're holding, the more we're willing to choose love over fear, the more we're going to be able to really navigate it with ease and grace and participate in it evolving in a beautiful way that unfolds for the highest good for all of us. So last year, the codes that we worked with was the Earth Star, which was really about grounding, connecting into the earth, and really important that you carry that energy through into this year. Probably the most important thing that we can ever do is to honor Mother Earth. She's our home. Without her, we have no life. And sometimes I think we might take her for granted or forget that she's everything. So returning to the mother and tuning to and grounding into the earth. A lot of times in the spiritual community, we're always up here, including myself, in the etheric realm doing this work, which is beautiful. But if we're not able to pull it down and bring it through our pranic tube and anchor it into the earth, then we're not bringing it into our experience and reality. It's just hovering somewhere where we have no access to it. So that's the Earth Star card. And that's something we worked with deeply last year. So just remember, you want to carry that energy through. We also worked with the Starseed Origin Code. And that was about tuning into beings in the cosmic realm, like the Syrian elders, for example, and remembering we can call on them and they will gift us, love us, and support us as we open up and invite them. But any being from any realm we can't access them unless we invite them. So the simple act of an invitation is really, really important. We also worked with soul contracts last year. Soul contracts about going in. Who do you have contracts with in this lifetime? And do you need to revisit them or rewrite them? And which was a lot about bringing up and reflecting and learning about our relationships. And for a lot of people, there was a lot of clearing last year, letting go, looking at the shadow, releasing all of that. We worked with the pineal gland, and we're going to do that today as we move into a bit of an activation to intend and create and get seated what we want to create for 2023. This is the pineal gland card. super powerful. Then we did the DNA work, right? Where we went into our DNA and we unwound ancestral energies caught within our system so we can create deep healing in the body, really important. And all these things have a theme, the self-love code as well, which is mirrored reflection of our worthiness, how worthy and lovable we are, and how important it is to love and adore ourselves. And then we went into the Christ consciousness key code around unity and surrendering, letting go, opening and allowing. And all those energies that we worked on last year were a lot about letting go, releasing, bringing up the shadow. But this year, totally different ball game. We're moving into a really different energy, and it's very powerful and it's intense. And so I'm going to channel about it. And I pulled the cards for this year, and I'm going to let you know what they are. And then I'm going to channel. We're going to ask Raphael what each one means and why, and how they're going to impact you personally, and how they're going to impact us collectively on the planet in 2023. And I am not a psychic, and I'm not about predicting the future, because we have free will and we have choice, and we get to create our experience and our reality through our thoughts and our intention and the vibration that we hold. So I am in no means here to tell you and predict what will or will not happen. But there's an overall signature, like a vibration, a theme of the year, and you can align with that vibration and utilize that energetic field to support you in the fruition and the bringing to light of your experience in your dreams. And we all collectively, as we choose where we want to place our attention and focus, whatever collectively the earth and all of us individually are holding in our vibrational field becomes a reflection, mirrored reality of our experience. And we have to remember that when we think that we are helpless in the world's events, or that there's nothing that we can do about them, that is simply not true. We are really, really powerful. And in remembering how powerful you are and choosing love over fear and choosing where to put your energy and your attention and your intention really makes a big difference. And you are impacting how life is unfolding on the planet for yourself, for your children, your grandchildren, and for the earth, depending upon what frequency you choose to hold. So the vibrations of next year, we're going to start with the key codes as we begin tomorrow. The gratitude key code begins tomorrow. And the reason we're beginning with that is because the easiest way to elevate your emotion into the highest frequency, other than love, of course, is gratitude, because gratitude is something that you can grasp. You can remember things that you're grateful for, from the simplest things to that you have a bed to sleep in tonight and you have running water, to a pet that you're holding or a child that you love, or whatever it may be. As you really drop into the frequency of gratitude, that creates the foundation for creating your reality. And without that, you can do all the intending, manifesting affirmations you want, but if you're not really holding a vibration that you are in deep appreciation for what you already have, rather than completely always looking to get more, but really embodying what already is, then you're still holding a vibration of lack on some level, because you're telling yourself, I don't have that, and I need more than what I'm already enjoying. And because of that, you begin to vibrate with lack, actually, when you're trying to create. So gratitude, which is the key code that begins tomorrow, is key. It's the foundation. It's like the fertilization in the soil to prepare and to place the seed. So we're going to start that tomorrow. And then on 1/23/23, which is perfect, it all lined up that way, we're going to do the creation key code. And the creation key code is about manifestation and creating through the womb space of the black light, the energy of creation itself that's everywhere and nowhere all at once, the 0 point energy. We're going to be working with the divine feminine, with Sophia, and energies for you to implant into the seed of creation, whatever you want and intend for the makeup of the whole year to get it in place. So tomorrow we'll start with gratitude. We'll get the soil ready. We'll get the vibration up. We'll get our energies high. And then we're going to go into the seed of creation itself to create. So if you guys want to do that, knowing the best way to do that is to either do the IM membership where you get all the codes that we've done to date and these, or to do a one-time thing where if you're like, okay, I really want to set up my year and get it ready, then do that. And there should be an email that you should have to do both the codes. All right. And then the themes for 2023 are discernment, which is clearly discerning the energies that are really going to require you to go inward and really be clear on your own discernment of what is true and what is not true, because there will be a lot of false narratives coming up. We'll talk about that in the channeling. It's going to be about action, moving forward, leadership. We're going to work with Adama in Telos around that energy, personal power, standing in your power, and freedom. And all of these things are going to show up personally and collectively, and you can harness them. And as you can see, they kind of have a similar vibration and a theme, really different from last year's energy that has a lot of momentum, a lot of moving forward, a lot of action energy. So I'm going to bring in Raphael. If you haven't heard me channel before, I make these toning sounds and I move my hands, and that's how Raphael comes in. But it seems to affect the microphone. So I'm going to turn off the mic and it'll be silent for a minute or two. I'm going to tone. Raphael will come in and say hello. Casey's on here, and he will be asking some questions about 2023. You can also pop in the chat box if you have something specific, universal, not personal. We're not going to deal with personal questions. If you want to work with me on a personal level with the codes, then join our membership and join us for the codes for the next year. Okay. And I'm really excited about the deck. I can't wait for it to come out, and I don't know, it's so much fun to play with it. So we're going to tune into each one. We got freedom, personal power, leadership, discernment, and creation are the ones that that were pulled for 2023. Okay, I'm going to turn off the mic and we're going to get started. All right, be right there. Love you guys.
Hello. Hello, hello.
Oh, hello. Hello, hello,
Hello.
hello. Uh-oh. We are very delighted to be here with you from the angelic realm and to attune to this calendar year that you associate with as you mark it as the beginning and the ending of a particular cycle in the rhythm of time, in which is the construct of something in which you have all created. And yet with it, there is, as Kelly was saying, and we have connected and informed her, a particular energy or a vibration that moves collectively with all of you and your agreements as what it is you are wanting to unfold, the momentum of a specific year and the vibration or the codes in which it is holding. And so we are here to support you in aligning with these as we remind you that all of this is fluid and shifting and changing at every moment in every place in which you choose to align your energies and your frequencies for it to mirror and reflect that in which orients you in the compass toward love. And so it is that we are here today to talk to you about this and whatever it is you're wanting to talk about. So we shall begin. And so, hello.
Hello, Raphael. So we are so excited for 2023, and
Yeah.
we just want to go through some of the themes that are going to come up this year. And I know that we have a lot with the key codes, and I was thinking that a good place to start would be how is the key code of personal power going to be important this year, and how may it impact people on an individual level?
This entire year is going to be very intense. And it doesn't mean that it will be intense in a negative way, but there'll be a lot of movement and a lot of change, a lot of death and a lot of birth. Not necessarily physically, but at some point there will be the death of others and the birthing of new, as always. But because there will be so much motion, so much movement, and it will be moving so rapidly, it will be essential to be in your personal power and to be clear in who it is that you are and where it is that you are wanting to go, and to ground into the rootedness of your being, to stand strong in your power, to stand in the posture of power, to align with the vibration of the highest aspect of who it is that you are as much and as often as possible, and to call upon the totems or the beings or the symbols of power itself to support you in that alignment. Because there will be so much energy. It's going to move rapidly, and there will be a lot of change and momentum, the birthing of new things, new opportunities, new technologies, new adventures, the things in which projects that perhaps you want to birth into reality or existence. This will be a very good year for that. Anything that you want to create will have a momentum behind it. It is a year to harness the momentum of leadership, movement, and action. And with that, you will need power, personal power. You will not be distracted by what other people think, or if you're pleasing someone. You will not be distracted by the needs so much of others, but focused in more zero pointed, not zero pointed, what would be your word? You're focused in on a direction in which you are going, and you maintain that direction by standing in your power without allowing there to be a lot of distraction or others to pull at you in many different directions. And so that will require boundaries. And it will require conviction, and it will require being grounded and strong and rooted in who you are. And that, in many regards, is a foundation of what will be needed, also in alignment with the vibration of gratitude, that you are embodying the presence of every moment and enjoying the pleasures of life as it is unfolding, even though you have your sights on wherever it is that you may be going or what you might be creating or the momentum moving you toward that you are fully in your body. Personal power is also reclaiming different aspects of self and bringing them together, unifying them within you so that you stand and walk in a place of knowing, of knowledge, of strength, of power, not power that dominates another, not power that intimidates anyone. We're not talking about this type of power. We're talking about an inner core, an inner strength, an inner calmness amongst what may be and continue to unfold collectively and globally, that you are simply navigating it with strength and courage and poignancy, moving toward the direction of your goal without allowing energies to pull you this way or pull you that way and knock you over. Because if you do that, it's like a big wind or a storm coming in. If you're not grounded and strong, you will be knocked over by it. And getting up might be harder to do than in the past because the energies will be continuously coming so quickly that it will require this rooted, strong, standing in your power energy in order to navigate the vibration, the signature, the energy of the year as it is unfolding.
Wow. So thank you. So it's really important to be in our power this year because it's a great year of opportunity because the planet is flooding with so much energy. So we need to be rooted in order to take that on. And so what would you say would be the number one thing that we can do to be rooted in who we are, to have discernment of what is a powerful opportunity versus what to let go of?
Choosing where you are intending to go and having a very strong visual understanding of that, and continuously asking as things are moving into your reality, is this serving me in the direction of the unfolding and the blooming of that in which I'm creating? Or is it distracting me from that? Or is it pulling me somewhere else? Or is it about someone else's agenda? Or is it a distraction on some level from the core of my essence and the direction in which I am moving? And you might even want to write that down and keep asking yourself in every moment, beginning in the beginning of the year now, as you place the seed of your intention within the womb of creation, which is really the basis of this year. This year is about creating. It is about the creation energy itself, moving into the black space, the night, the emptiness, the void, the 0 point of everything and nothingness. And from that space, finding the beauty in that, the energy, the quality, the vibration of it, and seeding within it your intent so that it may be birthed and brought to life in fruition for you to experience, to be involved in, to feel, and to know. But you have some time to prepare for that energy. That is why we are asking that that gateway is connected with the creation code on 12323, because that will be the gateway opening where you have between now and January 23rd to really take some time and prepare to get the soil ready, to elevate your energy into gratitude, to raise your vibration, to be clear on your intention, to write, to journal, to pray, to attune to connect with the earth, to find the direction of your creation, what you want to bring into fruition, into your experience, to birth into the world, to share, to be of service to the masses, to the collective, to your family, to all those around you. What is it, the passion? What do you have that lies and dwells within you? The creativity that wants to birth itself, that wants to rise up through you, that wants to come out of you, that wants to be born into reality. But if we said to you, well, today is the first day of 2023, go ahead and create that, you would be scrambled and overwhelmed. And that's why that gateway of 12323 is that opening, giving you some time now to take this time, this quiet time in the beginning of the year, to prepare the foundation. And that includes being in your power. If you're distracted or addicted to something, or looking at television or social media all the time, or whatever it may be, or involved in someone else's business, or continuously taking care of others and being pulled in all kinds of directions, other than the direction in which you're bringing forth and birthing, that is not in a self-centered way, but is that you're bringing it forward for yourself and for the collective to be of service for the greater whole, then we ask of you to start to prepare for that. This is a time of preparation. This is a time of getting things in order, of decluttering, of opening up space, of putting your routine in order, of having a vision of what it is you're wanting to birth. And in order to do that, you must be in your power, because if you're not in your power, you're all over the place. And then if you're not going to have the foundation needed to birth this new reality.
Thank you, Raphael. And so as we move into this creation period of time right now, what may be some things you would tell us to avoid other than distractions in this period of time? Like, what are ways that people make mistakes when it comes to getting ready to manifest that we might want to avoid in the next 23 days?
Well, manifesting from your true essence, the real depth of your being, but not a superficial manifestation, delving in deep to really look at what it is that you're wanting to bring forth into creation, because you may have a surface idea that pleases the ego that you are wanting to create. But what is it that in creating that are you receiving within yourself? Getting to the kernel, to the core of what it is that you are really wanting to bring forth and to create. Because it is that the outward manifestation that has been, what would be your word you would use in your language, when you have been imprinted with certain belief systems that you have to have more or get ahead or get bigger or have this or have that in order to feel something or to be satisfied. And part of that is a distraction really from the essence of coreness of what you are wanting to create. And so perhaps start with the surface level of what you want to bring forward, but then step back a bit into the feeling that that will bring you, and looking at the feeling of what that is and how that is in relationship to the collective, to the whole holographic field, how you are participating in the unfolding of the new earth, what it is that you will be doing to contribute to not only your own personal needs, but for to be of service to the collective in the unfolding of something that is a part of the awakening in whatever way that unfolds for you and whatever you are bringing to the table. And a lot of times when you start with the creation process, you get caught in the frilly stuff on the outside, the things that are shiny that you would like. And that's fine to start with that shiny stuff, because it's easy for the mind to go there, and the ego loves that. But then begin to go deeper into the depth of it, and to the layers, as if you're going through the rings of the tree into the center, into the core. And as you go into the core of it, what is the feeling that you want to feel there? And how is that feeling? And what is that essence, that kernel that you want to bring forth, participating in the fabric of reality for the collective? How is it woven into the whole? And how are you igniting the I am that I am presence, the spark, the light that dwells within you in there, so that it may bloom? Because if you're only focused on the shiny surface aspect and you're not really delving into the core, you may create temporarily the shininess, but there is never full completion or satisfaction. Then you're always wanting the next thing, the next shiny thing. But so we want you to use the shiny thing to help you get into to really what it is at the center, the core of your being. And that is why one of the themes of 2023 is also leadership. It is action, it's movement, it's energy, it's going forward. In that you in your community collectively, there are different camps in a sense. You've got those who meditate and are still and present and sit on a mountain and do their work and their prayer and their mantra, and this is magnificent and beautiful. There are those who are active and action oriented and creating change and using movement and going forward in a positive way for the collective, and that is beautiful. But this year is about merging the two. It is that activism without the spiritual core and essence of who you are is voided of something in which it doesn't really bring about real change, and spirituality of sitting and contemplating, but not moving or taking action toward what you're wanting, and just getting caught in the routine of the different parts of your spiritual program in that in itself also is void of the creation process as well. So it is the merging of these energies and the intertwining of them, the movement of them, the sacredness of acting in a forward motion that will be the unfolding and the creating of the momentum needed for what you're wanting to bring forward. And so the leadership energy is a part of what is needed as you're moving into this year. So look to those who were able to combine the energies of the sacred, the spiritual, the essence, the core, the pearl of the light, with action and movement for the collective, for the highest good of change. Look to where those energies may come together. Perhaps a leader that might come to mind in your collective understanding would be Martin Luther King, for he had the spiritual aspect, the reverence, the sacredness, the teachings of the understanding of spirit, but he used it and merged it with active speech and non-violence in a movement toward change. And that might be the same as Gandhi, perhaps you could say, or Mandala, with energies for change, for the collective of the unfolding, but that are based in a deep sense of sacredness, and the kernel and the essence of the core, the light, the spark that dwells within. And so this year is about both. And last year there was a lot of contemplating, reflecting, releasing, looking at, delving into, finding the shadow, connecting to spirit, and arising as you peeled away those denser energies, and the light body is in the 12-12 activation open more, and you've got all this light here. Harness that light by maintaining it with your practices and your daily habits and your routines to have a clean body and vessel and meditation and breath and mantra and attunement, but align that with activism, action, leadership, movement, personal power. And so it is these two energies culminating together, intertwining to move you forward, because the energy will be moving very rapidly. And so you will need both. If you find yourself simply in the world of simple contemplation itself, which is essential to the evolution of your species, but needed to be merged with something else, you might get knocked over. You may be rooting for many, you may be holding it for many, but it is important this year, if you are wanting to birth something or to culminate something or bring something into reality, that you invite that other energy to come forward, because any energies of the patriarchal old systems, many of them will collapse in this year. They will fall away. And with that, it will reveal, it'll open up space for something else. What we call it in some regards is like a glitch in the matrix will happen this year. It will be like a clicking glitch where you'll have an opening and an awareness, and you'll see, oh, you'll see the spark of your own divinity. You'll see the light that dwells, that is who you are, and you'll merge that with the ability to bring together through the black light of the womb of creation itself all the energies to birth it through the canal into reality. And so it is the culmination of these energies that is the signature of this year.
Thank you, Raphael. And in this journey, how do we find what it is that actually, I changed my mind. Let's move on to the next question. And a question that somebody had today was, what words do you have on dementia? Because a lot of people are having different memory problems, or they're witnessing people in their life have suffer from dementia, and it affects their family deeply. Do you have any words on this?
Oh. Well, this is partly that they're not here fully grounded in the body, that they're operating in other dimensional realities. Many more gateways and portals are open than ever before. The access into other dimensions, in which this particular memory bank in which you have here is not that useful if you're working in other worlds and dimensions. And so grounding and coming into the body is essential. It is very important that one remembers that you chose to be here on earth. You chose to be here now in this moment. And it will require grounding, being barefoot on the earth, walking on the earth, being in the woods, being in the forest, being with the river, eating healthy, clear, vital food that awakens you. And if you are doing all of that, and yet you're still suffering from dementia, or that can also be due to the aging of the body in different aspects, then it means that the work that you have in other dimensions, you have chosen on some level as of higher regard than where it is that you are in the now present moment, and that is all right. But in order, if you are choosing to bring more focus and memory into your experience, you have to get in your body. Escaping the body in the human experience is not spirituality. Sometimes people think that that is what being spiritual is, but it is not. It is fully embodying who you are in the body with reverence for the body temple while you are here in the now and in the earth.
Fantastic, Raphael. And another question that we had in the chat that I found interesting was this year seems to be more yang energetically with the themes. How can we support the rise of the feminine as best with or along that? Like,
Oh, well, it may appear that way because of the action-oriented energy, but it is deeply embedded in the divine feminine because it is the year of birth. It is the year of bringing forward creation, which cannot occur without the divine feminine. It is the energy of the great Sophia. It is the womb of creation itself. It is moving into the black light, the space of nothingness where everything was born that cannot occur without the Great Mother. But then you must remember that the Great Mother cannot give birth to the seed of creation of something new without the divine masculine seeding it, without the form of action and energy and movement. And so there has been a great rise in the divine feminine, and there will continue to be, for there will be the fall of the masculine that is not based in its divinity, in which many leaders across your planet will perish in this year 2023, that are there, that are dominant, that are utilizing their energy that is deeply out of balance, and new leaders in the male form of the divine masculine will rise up in qualifications and energies that are based in unity and love, with movement in the direction that one is needed. There will be so much change, and it will begin to happen very, very rapidly as you are moving into the upcoming years of 2024 and 2025, with the change will even be more intense. This is a year for you to get ready, to get prepared, to get in alignment with yourself and your priorities, your power, your understanding, and your momentum. And so, yes, it is that the divine feminine is deeply honored this year, because it is all about birth and creation and the womb. That is why you're going into the creation key code, to birth your experience as you move forward into the new year. And so it is that is also going to amplify this revolutionary vibration around the globe. There will be a lot of rising up of the divine feminine, where the feminine feels suppressed, where the feminine cannot speak its truth, where where the feminine is asked to wear certain clothing, where the feminine has been pushed aside, where they do not feel equal, where their rights have been taken away. There will be a deep need for that to be surfaced and to be voiced, which is part of standing in one's own personal power without fear of the powers that be will be looked at, and will be not, there will not be a war of it, but in a sense there will be this fighting back, this revolutionary energy, because the energy will be intense and a lot of momentum, that it'll say enough is enough. And that spark of divinity that recognizes that one is eternal, that their being is endless and infinite, will rise up without fear, just as those in other movements in the past, like in the 1960s, that rose up to push against certain ways of being. There will be a lot of that energy again this year, the rising up in order to say enough is enough, in the deep knowing and essence that there is nothing that you can do to harm me. You can beat me, you can knock me down, you can kill me, but yet even in that I am eternal. In the remembering of your divinity, it is through the passion of that action and activism that the energy will rise within the divine feminine. And in that, where the fear then is released and love overcomes the fear, then the divine feminine is in its glory, in its power, it has risen. And so that will be an enormous part of the unfolding of the year as well. And you will see that in different pockets globally around the globe, as there will be this energy of enough is enough. Especially to those that are dominating, especially single energies that are dominating from patriarchal energies of top-down dominated power down to the masses. The masses will begin to rise up. Enough is enough will be a theme in a sense, and part of that will be the divine feminine rising to be in its personal power. And so yes, it is an energy of movement and action and going forward in the divine masculine, but it is deeply balanced in the birthing of new things.
And so in that, I hear a lot about freedom, and I know that we're going to have the freedom key code. I was wondering if you could talk a little bit more about what makes us feel free, and what do we need to do to feel free, and what shackles us from being free, both spiritually, mentally, and physically.
Well, it is fear that shackles you from being free. When you remember, really deeply remember that you are divine, that you are eternal, that you are a spark of light that is endless and continuous, that there is nothing that you cannot bring into experience or reality, that you can create as you get out of your own way, facing your shadow and absorbing it without fighting and resisting it, merging into the complete unity of the light that dwells within, into the wholeness of self. You move forward with great courage, and then you are free to speak your truth, free to scream to the world what is real, free to share and open your heart to love, breaking down the barriers or the shackles that you might say are fear of getting hurt in a relationship that holds you back from being free. Fear of not having enough money holds you back from abundance. Fear of what will happen in the future, fear of worrying about someone else, fear about your health creates disease. All of those things are in alignment with each other. And so freedom comes from a willingness to choose love over fear. And continuously asking yourself, am I moving forward in this moment or this decision because I'm afraid, or because I'm moving through love? Am I moving away from something or towards something? Am I not doing something because I don't want to hurt someone? Or I'm doing something because I love them? And so really evaluating that is where the real freedom comes into expanding into the fact that you are free. And with that, sometimes there are sacrifices that need to be made in alignment to standing in one's absolute truth and power. In that fear, you might get arrested or you might get put in jail, and such as mandala, as an example we were speaking of before, right? A resistance, but there was no fear, because even in that, you are never imprisoned, because it is a construct that isn't real. It may appear real temporarily, and the suffering may be present for a moment, but as you are in the spark of your light of who you are in the presence, you are able to embody, to feel, and to express joy, even in that in which another who is not imprisoned, who is what they think free, but is actually imprisoned within the constructs of the mind and the spirit. So freedom may appear outwardly to be free to dance and to play and to have your rights, but freedom is more than that. Freedom, it's something that you can only deeply find within yourself, in the stillness and the presence of source, of light, of the spark of your own divinity. You are always free regardless of outside circumstances. And that freedom comes from choosing love over fear.
Thank you, Raphael. And I think something that a lot of people have fear about is money. And somebody asked about like what can we expect about the economy in 2023 as all of these revolutions and all of this uprising that you're speaking about is coming up? What can we do to free people from their worries about money, whether the economy is good or bad, or will that have like, how do we know if that will have an impact on us personally, and what should we do to think about that, to make
There
sure that
will
we don't affect our
continuously always be changes, but you must go in again into the essence, such as the freedom code is also the abundance code, is to drop into the gratitude code of the presence of now. It is the concern and the worry of the future, of there not being enough, that you begin to vibrate with the vibration, of course, of lack. And then that vibration of lack begins to mirror the reflection of your experience. And before you know it, you're experiencing lack. And then you're worried that you don't have enough. And then you're on this wheel and momentum of not having enough. And then the collapsing of your experience that you're not having enough begins to become more based in fear, vibrating with anxiety and stress and so on. It's the cycle. But it is that when you recognize that in this moment there is enough, in this moment that there is so much to be grateful for, so much to vibrate with the frequency of the embodying of what already is, that you already have, that you are alive, that you have breath, that your heart is beating, that the sun has risen this morning, that the water has flowed from your faucet and your toilet has flushed, and your bed you laid your head on. That is why we begin the year with the gratitude code, because as you hold that vibration and you begin to keep coming back to that, when that fearful mindset of what's going to happen with the economy, and is the stock market going to collapse, and is there going to be a new currency, and am I going to have enough food, and are the gas prices going to go up, or is there going to be this or this or this or this? That is vibrating with future worry and lack. But when you keep coming back here to right now, naming 3, 5, 10, 12, 100 things that you're grateful for that you can find in this moment simply by looking around the room and out into wherever it is that you are, or dwelling within your own body, the gratefulness of the fact that you have breath and a beating heart, you then begin to align with the vibration of abundance. And when you're vibrating with the vibration of abundance, regardless of what the collective is doing, you are sending out feelers, in a sense, into this beautiful tapestry of life that is connecting then with all those other beings on the globe that are also holding and carrying the vibration of gratitude. And that then becomes the matrix of your reality that then mirrors a system that creates abundance, not just for you, but for all of those that are vibrating with that frequency. That it becomes the timeline that you're on. And however that timeline then unfolds for the collective to have enough is the timeline that you're in, because there are multidimensional, continuous, and infinite timelines occurring all the time, where some are deeply embedded in lack and others in abundance. And your equation or definition of abundance is quite skewed, because you can find those who perhaps are living in a dwelling that is made of mud, and yet the joy and abundance within their being is just beaming through them, because they are dancing and playing and with family and enjoying the presence of the moment and dancing. Or there can be those living in mud in a dwelling of that sort, who are deeply based in the fact that they don't have enough and are exhausted and sick and tired and desperate. And there can be those living in multi-billion-dollar mansions who are in anxiety, fear, disease, illness, suffering, and pain, and those who are in great joy. So it is, yes, to a certain circumstance, it does matter that your needs are met and that you are comfortable, which is the birthright of every human on the planet, which you are moving toward in the fifth dimension. But it is important to really vibrate with the vibration that you already have enough, and that everything in this now moment is okay, and that you're taken care of. And breathe into that in deep gratitude. And the more you hold the vibration of gratitude, the more the universe magnetizes to the frequency that you have enough and more. And it just keeps opening doorways, one after another, to more and more abundance, to allow you to birth forward the creation of whatever you're choosing to create as we move into the creation code. And so, yes, we understand that the mind and the construct of linear time wants to know what's going to happen, and is this going to happen, and is that going to happen, and we don't know what's going to happen. And your reality will happen and reflect and mirror to you what you believe will happen, based on the vibration you're holding that reflects that frequency. And the fastest way to hold the frequency needed in order to vibrate with abundance is to embody and express gratitude for the blessings that already are.
Thank you, Raphael. I think that's really clear. And I think that so the two other things that people seem to be curious about are how to work with family members who are trapped in states of consciousness of either suffering or victimhood or old energies that seem stuck and cannot come out. And the other part, which I think can be combined into it, is about discernment, and the discernment key code of, I would assume, of like, what do we involve ourselves in and what do we let go of, and how can we discern where is our place and where is not our place?
You love them completely and unconditionally and absolutely where they are, without asking or wanting them to be somewhere other than they are, as you hold full presence and love for them wherever it is that they are, without involving and entangling yourself, by utilizing discernment that where they are is exactly where they need to be as their journey is unfolding. And then you may discern whether you want to be on that journey with them or not, knowing that that is your conscious choice without vibrating with the vibration of victimhood. There are many still holding the vibration of victimhood. And it is to be present where they are, not asking them to be something other than they are, where then they feel loved, that the vibration of and the matrix of victimhood actually collapses. But as you feed into their victimhood or you argue against their victimhood, both of those energies strengthen it. But when you simply are a witness to it, they feel seen. And in feeling seen, the vibration of victimhood begins to dissolve, because victimhood is feeling invisible, unseen, unworthy, unlovable. And so often one wants to fix those who are in victimhood, wants to change, wants to drop it, figure it out, wants to solve the problem, wants to make it better. And it would appear that that would be a good thing to do. But that ultimately perpetuates endless victimhood, because they never get to stand in their own personal power in order to figure that out. Now, it's different if it's a child or someone that's mentally ill or that they are dependent on you. It can be complicated. But the overall general theme there is to fully engage in presence where they are and be seen and see them as they are, without a desire for it to be other than what it is. And in that, you help them to reclaim again their own power, because they feel seen. And with that, they begin to remember their own essence, their own ability, so that they too can harness this energy of this year, and that they may align with the vibration of leadership, personal power, action, and movement toward the birthing and the creating of their experience. And you can walk alongside them, or you can involve yourself with them, but you must discern as to why you are doing that. Is it on some level feeding something within you? Is it truly there simply to be of service, but in of service of it, is it detrimental to self? Really examining the why of why you are connecting to that energy, other than being present and acknowledging where it is in any moment. All of these things are part of the opportunity for deep self-reflection as you begin to prepare from today until January 23rd to begin to get clearer, as you begin to write and journal and experience and feel what it is that you want to put in your seed of creation to birth into the year.
Thank you, Raphael. That's beautiful. And I think that is all the time that we're going to have today. Do you have any other final words for us?
Oh, we're inviting you to attune to the pineal gland, to go into it as we have shared many times with you before, as you know how to go into the center of this beautiful space, the room here, and to go in and begin to place within the room the seed of what it is you are wanting to bring into fruition, as you can send the light of it through the front of the head into and in front, as it begins to open up a projection of your experience, and begin to add the senses and the feeling and the emotion to it, as you start to prepare the timeline in which you're wanting to create, as you may want to go into several different potential outcomes or doorways that through meditation you visit and open and move into, and see which one feels good, what resonates truly with you, that's not so based on the ego or the shininess, but the depth and the spark of your true being, the core of your essence. Open that doorway, see where you are, see what's happening, see what's unfolding for the year, and then begin to align energetically with that as we prepare the soil and the fertilization through the gratitude key code to move into the black light of the womb of creation, to birth your year forward. Begin with that process by perhaps writing 1, 2, 3, or 4 potential possibilities for the year, or how things may or may not play out, or what you want to intend or to place within your seed of creation. and and have these different timelines and possibilities, because if you only have one, you're not expanding into pushing and yourself further to delve into more possibilities that perhaps you're not ready to delve deeper into. I want you to get to the essence of it, to the core of it, behind the shiny door, and find what it really is, and then go into those timelines in meditation and feel what they feel like, and attune to them, and see, is that really what I'm wanting to create? Like, what feeling does that really invoke? What does that bring forward? And how is that serving me in the collective? And then go into the next and the next until you start to refine. Use this time for refinement to get clearer and clearer as you begin to form that in which you're wanting to put into the seed of creation. So with that, I send to you all of my love and all of my light, as it will be a magnificent and beautiful year filled with energy, momentum, action, fruition, creation, and birthing of new things for yourself and for the earth, remembering to bring the culmination and the energies together of forward action and motion with your spiritual essence of love that is the seed of who you really are, to allow that spark and that light within to expand and to grow, and that we are here to support you and to love you along the way, and in every way you are needing or wanting from us, discerning what is in alignment for you. I send to you all of my love and all of my light, many blessings, and good day. Mm. Mm. All right, beautiful. Well, thank you everybody so much for joining today. We have a fabulous year ahead. It's going to be amazing. I love you so much. And join us for the Kikos. We got gratitude and creation coming up. I think today you can get buy gratitude and you get creation half off. I think it's just for today or something. An email went out. So do that if you'd like to. I love you. You're going to have a beautiful year. And I'm here to support you in any way. I will see you on Sunday next week. So send me an email if you have any themes or anything you want to talk about. Remember, the Starseed class is like 70% off for the next couple of days. And the creation key code is 50% off. So enjoy those New Year specials, and let's all make it happen. All right. Connecting all this beautiful energy from within to whatever we want to create, and to have the best year ever. All right. I love you all so much. And mwah, I'm going to have I'm birthing this, the creation key code Oracle Ascension deck. I'm hoping it'll be ready as soon as I get my piece done in a month or so, or two. Okay. Love you all. Have a beautiful day. Thank you, Casey. Thank you so much. Bye, guys.